Hey everyone, welcome back to Nothing Nerdy. My name is Frankie and I'm here with the Inspector Who Reacts, and we're here talking about part 3 of Ahsoka.
Chapter 3, Episode 3,
Mm-hmm.
Revenge of something.
I think this was called Time to Fly, but close enough.
A lot of
um,
flying in this episode.
what's that?
A lot of flying in this episode.
Yeah, so it was an appropriate it was an appropriate name. Lots of time spent in the sky. But I really enjoyed this episode. I of course have heard mixed things from others, but
I I like this one
I
a
did too.
lot. And I think weirdly enough is because it was shorter, the pacing like condensed a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things, maybe.
Yeah.
But not it was not weirdly enough, it felt longer than it was.
Yeah, it did. They packed. I felt they packed a lot in there. Like it was important stuff. I felt like everything that happened was important. Like the very beginning. I
Hmm.
thought that scene was so cool. Like it was so exciting watching
Yeah,
Sabine train, um,
yeah.
because it kind of gave us a glimpse into what Jedi training would look like, um,
Hmm.
and it was like really cool seeing Hu Yang like
Yang, yeah.
what exactly he did, what his skills, what his abilities were as a droid for training.
How he
Uh,
trains and
mm-hmm.
all his
Yeah.
tools.
Mm-hmm. And the different I don't know a lot about this stuff, but I guess like the different stances and their names and the different fighting style names, like I as far as I know, like in canon we haven't really gotten any of those names. I don't know about Legends. I think in Legends we did. I'm not really sure,
There
but
might be like one of those Jedi books that has like details or something, but I'm not like delved into that.
mm-hmm.
Um, which would be that would be like really nerdy for somebody to be like, "Oh, I recognize what those words are."
Yeah, well, I'm sure somebody does. Like, I know I've seen people talk about it, but again, I don't know if they're getting that from like Legends books or if just from like our like real fighting styles or whatever, basing it off of that.
Huyang cheats
Yeah, for
his
sabers.
forces.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what droids do. Droids need force sabers.
Mm-hmm.
You
Got,
learned from Grievous.
you got to be prepared.
Um, okay, so funny thing, I actually before this episode, I actually just rewatched Sabine's training with Kanan and Rebels,
Oh, okay.
and it was interesting to see him kind of like I noticed something when he was talking about how Sabine was very stubborn and blocked, like
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't letting the force flow through her. Not like he sensed the force, but just the general force
Mm-hmm.
that she could have. And I feel like that might be a not a hint, but like that could be a kind of explanation to why she's still struggling now.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's so Mandalorian,
Right.
as Hera said. Um,
I feel so, and like not to make a big deal of it, I just feel I'm still so confused about her becoming a Jedi.
yeah,
Not that I have a problem with her being a Jedi. I'm still trying to figure out, okay, well, what prompted it? Because it's like, I think because everything that we've seen from the movies and the shows, anytime someone becomes a Jedi, it's because they have this ability in the Force.
mhm.
Like when they're a child, they're shown using the Force, and like so the Jedi find them and have to train them and all this and that. She has shown, and they even admit it in this episode. She has never used the Force before. So
Mhm.
was it just her fighting that prompted her to, hey, you know what? Let me look
I,
into this. You know
this
what?
is almost yeah. Yeah, this is almost like I feel like they're trying to force the force.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
like they're trying to awaken the force
Mm-hmm.
in Sabine in
Yeah.
a way.
There was that whole conversation between her and Ahsoka, and there was
Hmm.
Ahsoka's teaching her about feeling it. Sabine's like, I can't use it. I don't feel it, and Ahsoka's like, you got to start small. Blah blah blah. Like there was no mention of midichlorians. It's kind of
Yeah,
like, are we undoing that, or does it really not matter?
I don't think we're well. Again, the midichlorians I've always felt were more of a meter, but not the actual force itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just something that gravitates toward Force. And of course, maybe Ahsoka doesn't have like a needle on her to check
Mm-hmm.
Sabine's blood
Yeah.
for herself. Like all that Jedi tech.
Mm-hmm.
But what was it? It was I do like that they more point out that she probably won't be a full-on Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
but she will be like a better Sabine or something. Like I don't like she just that's
Yeah.
what Ahsoka said. Like I want her just to be better.
Mm-hmm.
She won't be a Jedi. I even like how that's more of a discussion between her and Hu Yang, where Hu Yang says like, "I know kids that can kick you,
Yeah.
that can beat you in the Jedi skills." It's like, okay, give Sabine some slack here. She's like starting at like 20. I mean, Anakin started at 10. Sabine's like starting at like, and Luke started like 20. Sabine's like what, 25 at this point or something?
Probably somewhere in there.
Yeah, I don't know. She was like, I always thought, was Sabine like a teenager in Rebels, or was she like an adult?
I felt like she was an older teenager. Like I felt like Ezra was the younger one,
Mm,
and Sabine was like a few years older.
yeah, I don't think they were that far apart, but they were. She was definitely older.
Mm-hmm.
I just always thought she was like 20 something already. But
So she's got to be in her 30s then, or no?
maybe. Also, I was at so kind of jump ahead a little bit, but we saw Jason, Hera and Kanan's son,
Yeah. Oh, that was
and
so bittersweet.
that was so cute. And it was like I was like, wow, I don't know. I just felt like, man, has it really been that long? Like he looks young, but at the same time, it feels like it's been years.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got the green hair,
Yeah.
but the kid looks good and does. I mean, he's only got one scene, but I'm excited to see what they do with this character now that they've introduced him
Mm-hmm.
officially per se.
Well, he says he wants
Uh,
to be a Jedi.
I don't know if Hera wants that to happen.
Yeah, she looked at it. The look she gave him, it was like, "Oh, I know you do, honey, but I don't know if my heart can handle it."
Like, and then of course we have to be like, okay, be a Jedi, and then 20 years later, hey, Kylo Ren, or 10 years later, it's just like, is Jason there or is Jason somewhere else?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that they could do with his character.
No. Jason and Grogu, they're off. They ran.
Yeah, they'll start the new Jedi Order.
No, like Jason. It's like Grogu starts like the Mandalorian Jedi Order
Mm-hmm.
instead of like we have Luke's order and then we have the Mandalorian Jedi's,
Mm-hmm.
which is Sabine and Grogu can
Yeah.
work together. Um, but yeah, I did like the training. I also liked how it was very interesting how this was almost like not countering the teachings of the old Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
but it was more of like trying a new way of teaching. And it does make sense because Sabine is a very different student than most Jedi.
Yeah.
But one of the things where it's like, Ahsoka's like, here's a cup. Start small, and
Yeah.
I could just hear like Yoda saying, "Size matters not." It's like it's Sabine. Don't give her an X-wing. You don't throw an X-wing at Sabine. You throw a cup.
It's got to be something manageable.
Yeah.
And Sabine's determined.
Hmm. I was like, so round one, cup victory. Sabine
Yes.
0. you win this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was funny.
And the blast shield, the little face mask. It's like I can't see this.
Yeah, it was a cool callback to A New Hope.
Mhm.
But also at the same time, reminded me of what Kanan had to go through, like when he lost his
Mhm.
sight and learning to trust the Force without his
Yeah,
eyes.
that was another thing that I found a little weird. Well, not weird, but I just kind of like again. I just literally watched that episode with her and Kanan, and I found it funny how Sabine was. I guess I don't know. She felt like she was like, "How do I fight? I can't see." It's like, you fought a Jedi that was blind, Sabine. You know that people can see blind.
Mm-hmm.
The Force helps. This is what the point of it is. So it kind of Not it was a bad thing. It was just maybe it's been years for her that
Yeah.
she's like, oh yeah, I can fight. Jedi can see without seeing. Um, but I also liked how the training went with her, where Ahsoka's basically just tapping her and
Yeah.
appearing all around her and moving around.
Hmm.
And so Ahsoka, I feel like, was a little looser in this episode. She was much more, I guess, a little more upbeat or something. I don't know. She just felt happier.
She was more relaxed. I guess because they kind of worked out the tension that was between them, you know.
Hmm.
Um, so she got to be a little bit more herself. She wasn't as frustrated.
Yeah.
Um, they both weren't as frustrated, and I guess came to terms with one another. Wonder if Sabine wishes she kept her dark saber. It is far more intimidating. This is true.
Yeah. What? I yeah. Um. So we had that training,
Mandalorian
and
Martin. Hello. The real question is, this thing is like
just hope we
blocking.
survive in the sequel trilogy. Well, that's the thing.
I
From
hope so.
Dave Filoni, I remember him saying that Ahsoka wasn't dead, even though we heard her voice in Rise of Skywalker. Filoni, like, I think, countered that by saying she wasn't dead, which I'm curious if he's going to be all the way through with that, or he's like saying she didn't. She's somewhere else. I'm curious what he means by that. If
Hmm.
he has a different ending for Ahsoka, all the way past this, like Ahsoka dies of old age past the sequel trilogy or something.
That would be really nice. It would be so nice to see people in Star Wars just die of old age for once. Like, that's what I want for the Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
So it would just be really nice if somebody in Star Wars got to do that, you know?
Yeah. Well, the only one I can think of was Yoda, and he's like
Yeah, of course.
900 years for him to finally die of old age.
uh,
Um, Trying to think of anybody else. I don't think anybody else I can think of died of old age.
yeah. Filoni didn't want her fate determined by another person. I could still see Ben turning back to dark side. Rey would have been defeated if Kylo wasn't stopped by a hologram Leia.
Yeah. Which I will say I do understand, Filoni not wanting someone else to decide Ahsoka's fate.
Yeah.
Although I feel like at this point Ahsoka, I don't know, it feels like Ahsoka should have passed on by that point. I don't know how long her species can live though. Plus being a Jedi helps with that.
Mm-hmm.
America's definitely Plo Koon. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna deny that, but that's a hard reach.
But that's MXC for you.
Hmm. Um, but we also had this meeting on with Hera and Mon Mothma, who's Chancellor now, which we
Wait,
knew
wait,
that,
wait.
but
Not just one Mothma. All the senators, and one of them I was so excited was Senator Ziono
oh
from
yeah,
Star Wars Resistance. Okay, that was
oh
oh, it's been a while since I've watched it. That was his Kaz. That was Kaz's father.
oh
Yes.
okay yeah. I was like wondering why he seemed
Well, no,
familiar.
would it be his father? Would it be grandfather? I don't know, but yeah. So anyway, I was really
So
excited.
yeah, we got to see some senators, and I don't know, it's so weird that Mon Mothma is now the Senate now.
Yes, she is the Senate.
But it's kind of I feel like it's really fitting. Like she deserves it in a weird way. Let's
Mm-hmm.
say that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's weird how to say this, like after everything Mon Mothma's gone through, I feel like she's the one that's worth the being in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't know how the Senate is running. This Senate is it's a hard being in this new republic now. There's
Mm-hmm.
got so many tape and things they got to go through now.
Yeah.
Um. Uh. But yeah, we had this meeting, and Hera's basically demanding aid to find Thrawn,
Right.
which the rest of the Senate. I find it funny how the senators are all very disregarding a lot of this. Um. it's like they like the war wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Like 6 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but they're all like, Thrawn's, dead. And it's like, no, Thrawn's missing.
Right.
That's never been confirmed dead.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and it's like you want to divert resources that's very important to the Republic. Like, this is the resources for the New Republic. Preventing Thrawn is, and heck, even if it's not Thrawn, there's still the Imperials out there.
Yeah.
They're not gone,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually they'll become the First Order. But um, there's still like things, which again, like I wonder if they'll ever explain it either in this or something related to this. What Mon Mothma's plan with I mean, I think that's done in the books, but her plan was to demilitarize the Republic
Mm-hmm.
after the war, which was not, I don't think was one of the best ideas.
Right.
um, but they say, nah, we can't help you, which I guess what Hera can't. I don't know. She's probably got other responsibilities. I don't think she can help either.
Yeah, well, I think she's limited in what she can do. Like, I think she has to answer to them. So I guess if they say no, then she can't do anything without getting herself in trouble. I don't know. But yeah, like they don't seem the least bit threatened about an uprising of Imperials or whatever. So jokes on them.
Yep. Even though I was like, hey, that one senator was like, they signed over, which means they're loyal to the Republic. Yeah, no, they're loyal to just because they were loyal to the Empire, now they're loyal to us doesn't mean they were loyal, like, period.
Mm-hmm.
It's like their loyalty shifts.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are still loyal to the Empire.
Yeah.
So I really am curious how Thrawn's return is going to be handled, and what's the reaction? Like, what is this gonna become?
Right. It might become Filoni's movie.
That maybe.
Yeah.
At least I think that's what we're building towards.
Yeah.
Which I'm very curious about. But we're back to Sabine and Ahsoka on their ship, and they arrive at, I don't remember what the planet was called, but they arrive at the place where this hyperspace ring being built by our antagonists
Morgan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they drop out of hyperspace. They see this thing, and then all of a sudden, all these ships come in and start shooting at them.
Yeah. We have a very epic small dogfight space battle, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Sabine and Ahsoka are starting to work together in their own way. Like, they're finally, I think Ahsoka's like realizing she has to help Sabine in a different way. She has to like let Sabine. She needs to help Sabine by letting Sabine be in charge for a minute, because letting Sabine do what she does best, with how she knows how to do it.
So she went into the gunner's mount and started shooting.
Started blasting.
Yeah.
And the Merrick, is that the name of the Inquisitor? Merrick, and Shin is the name of the apprentice, right?
Oh, okay.
Again, it's going to take me a minute to remember their names.
I keep forgetting.
But those two were also attacking. And eventually, when they get to the ring, that station that hyperspace ring starts attacking. So they're just getting shot from all sides. And eventually they get close enough and they get blasted for a bit. And I did love that moment where it's like, congratulations, you almost got them.
Yeah.
I love that little bit of sass and spite between
Yeah, I mean, Sabine was able to take out most of the ships, not all of them, but they got hit pretty bad and they were dead in space. So part of the problem was that Hu Yang was trying to get a read, I guess, on the ring, and he kept like it was taking him too long. That finally they got hit. They got too close to it or whatever. Then
He
he
got
goes
fried.
out. Um, and so then Sabine's got to fix the ship, and then Ahsoka's got to get out. I love her spacesuit.
I know. I was like, that had to be very custom made.
Yeah.
It was very fitting.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it was actually really cool to. Again, it reminded me of like Plo Koon and other moments in Clone Wars and Rebels too, where they're out on a spaceship fighting like an outside force. But yeah, seeing Ahsoka just block starship lasers in space was really cool.
Yeah.
And her taking out one of the ships. Then she gets kind of caught floating, which part of me was like thinking, wait, can't you just pull yourself to the ship?
Like Leia? I mean, come on.
But yeah, they start the ship again. There begins another chase with the two Sith and their ship. And when we get into the planet, we find some whales.
Yeah, it was so exciting.
That was so cool. I really liked their design. They were huge. I think they were bigger than the ones we've seen in the cartoons.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a good job creating them. It's really spatial. Look, I should ready to go skiing.
And I feel like that this makes sense because, again, the whales, I think, were... the path of the whales is the path that is going to take them to the nether galaxy. Like, this is probably where the whales go to hyperspace to their next galaxy or something. Their migration or something. And this planet / wherever the ring is the indicator, and they're going to use it, which... That ring reminded me of, like, the Jedi starfighters with the hyperspace rings that they use to transport. So I feel like maybe the ring isn't just to transport and pick up Thrawn, because I feel like that's a lot of work to pick up Thrawn. Even though it is traveling across galaxies. But it's also maybe you can attach another ship, maybe like Thrawn's Star Destroyer, and bring it back.
Maybe.
So they maybe could be doing something similar to that. But yeah, I really like the design.
Yeah, it all looked really cool. And that whole thing is fascinating about how the ring can make the jump
across
across the galaxies. Like, that's kind of interesting.
And it requires like 7 Super Star Destroyer hyperspace drives. Which is like wild. That thing is huge. But yeah, so we escape from the Sith. We hide on the planet's surface, and that's just kind of waiting now.
Yeah. And that was the episode. It was like, it was short, but it had a lot. It had a lot in it. And I like where the series is going so far.
Yeah, this feels good.
There should be Phasma series, and they should revive her. I think that would be. I think Phasma's an interesting character. I think that would be good. Thrawn's ship is the Chimera. It is custom paint job.
Yeah, his Star Destroyer. And then we have Balon, who's on the planet, and he's sending out his forces to go find them.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to see him and Ahsoka meet at some point soon.
Yep.
And that's... Yeah, again, it was like short, but I feel like it was a good short. It was short and sweet. And it feels like, again, one half of like, you could say a full hour episode. So the next half is the rest. The next episode is the other half.
Right.
Yeah, it's exciting.
You guys think the First Order still would have lost if they had Phasma in Rise of Skywalker? I
mean, not that Phasma helped before. the First Order lost because Phasma lowered the shields. uh,
Nothing can defeat
so
the Tie.
we'll see. I would like to see more Phasma.
Yeah, it's a great,
In
great
some
character.
fashion.
We don't know for sure that she's dead. So
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, again, it's like Boba Fett. She could come back
yeah, they
after
all
everything.
come back. Nobody dies of old age, but everybody comes back.
Is Hux dead? He's just lying on the ground after a blaster. We've seen somebody get stabbed with lightsabers and survive.
The Captain really lose versus his granddaughter. What? Keeping it in the family.
And we're gonna see Rey's movie at some point, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what the future of that.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. I think, again, it's just not a lot to talk about, but a lot to get excited for.
Yeah, that was really it. Just a one episode this week, so we have 3 episodes left.
Yep, we're already halfway there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anything else? Anything else Star Wars related that happened this week?
Star Wars related? Haven't really heard too much news. Everything's kind of dead now. I feel like with the strike and everything, like,
yeah,
we're not getting. I feel like not much is going to be going on. But what is our next show after this? Star Wars, in terms of Star Wars.
Next Star Wars show?
Yeah. It's supposed to be
again,
Skeleton Crew. I still haven't seen anything about that recently.
About what?
I still haven't seen anything about the Skeleton Crew. Like, I know they made it, but I haven't seen a trailer or anything.
There was like a recent announcement that it was like on the early next year.
Oh, okay.
But again, we've seen very little. And there's Bad Batch season 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's eventually Young Jedi Adventures
season coming. I started season 1. I didn't finish it. I watched like 2 episodes. I think it's cute.
Boba Fett season 2, maybe. Kenobi season 2, not been announced, but maybe.
I want more Tamora. We need Tamora.
Yeah. I mean, okay, there's Star Wars Outlaws.
That game, yeah.
It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Excited for that. And there was I think something about Eclipse, I think, and then there's like the Old Republic remake, or the Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's alive or dead or something. I feel like something recently got announced about it.
Yeah, I think I heard something about Eclipse recently that is still going on. But again, we saw a trailer for that not this past celebration, but the celebration before, so like a year and a half ago. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Eclipse is like 4 years away. Yeah. All right, so we got a long ways to go. Jedi Survivor. I started that game. I did not finish it because it was going really slow for me on when I was trying to stream it.
Were you streaming that on the same device as you were playing it?
Yeah.
I think that might be why it was struggling.
I don't want to have to start it again on like PS4 or something. I'm not starting from the beginning.
Yeah, no, it's not even on PS4. It's on PS5.
Oh, PS5. Oh, right. I'm in the olden days.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
Old Republic remake got a new studio, right?
Okay. High Republic books.
I started those. I didn't finish. There's so many books. It's just so hard to keep up with the High Republic.
Yeah. I feel like if we ever were to do the High Republic, we would have to do a year dedication to it. I kind of want to wait till the High Republic's done-ish, it's got a complete story.
Yeah.
Before I would ever dive into it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this is, for Ahsoka, this is interesting how it's its own version of Heir to the Empire. Not yet, but I feel like it's building up to that.
Hmm.
And do you think Luke will show up in in this series?
I
I
feel like
don't
it all
think he,
depends on the timeline. Again, we don't know.
if he's training Grogu right now.
Right.
I feel like this has to be after that. I feel like this has to be after Book of Boba Fett because um this could have been like something about when Ahsoka was going on her pursuits, why like Luke was like, "Will I see you again?" or something like that.
Hmm.
And she's like, "Maybe,
I'm
but I got something to do."
a busy woman. Um, Captain Rex could show up. I hope so. I'm still holding on to that. I would get into the High Republic if they didn't make me feel like they were forcing me to eat them like my vegetables.
There's there's been okay, so there's been like a lot of theories about the one Inquisitor guy that's been helping
Uh-huh.
the antagonist. Like, so we have people think it's Ezra, which I'm like, no,
Right.
it's not Ezra. Why would he be Ezra? uh, there's also been a theory that it's, which I recently came up with, was like, it could be Luke's hand, like they did in the clone in like Heir to the Empire, where they brought Luke's hand and became a clone of it. Now that's,
It's a fun theory.
huh?
I said that's a fun theory.
That's not bad. There was like one which I don't know, but somebody thought, what if it's a clone of Anakin? Like they bring Anakin back as a kind of weak clone.
That would be
Because
so cool if they cloned Anakin.
yeah, that's just cloning Vader.
Yeah.
um, I I wonder if it's Starkiller, who it'd be interesting if they brought him into from Legends into this, but it would be kind of cool to see. Which I hope you haven't played Force Unleashed yet, have you?
No, I've seen like the trailer. I think I did reactions to the trailers a few years ago. They're somewhere on the channel.
You should definitely play it at some point. It's really good.
Yeah, I'll add it to the list. I got a long list.
It's a little. It's I will say it's definitely a little more.
Oh, she's
It's
smelling.
definitely probably easier than Survivor and
Mm-hmm.
the Jedi games. I feel like you'd have more fun with it.
Yeah. Luke's hand would never fit in that half, but it's far too
Luke's hand is too big for that outfit. Yeah, Luke was very ham-fisted.
big.
Let's see. But yeah, I feel like that Inquisitor guy is important, and if he's not, I'm actually gonna be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's a Chekhov's gun that's gonna be fired. That's
Yeah. I still feel like Barris makes the most sense. Like I think that would be the best answer, like the best fit for who that character should be. But
oh yeah, Barris too.
yeah.
That would be interesting because again, we don't have closure on that.
Yeah. Like she's got to be working for the other
We've been
side.
Yeah, we've been it's like saying where's Barris? Barris has to be Inquisitor or something. Like where is she?
Yeah.
That would be uh that would be cool if we was Barris and like an old again. It's two characters from Clone Wars and they're facing off,
Mm-hmm.
and it's if it is Barris, do you think Ahsoka would save her, or do you think she would take her out?
I think she would save her if she could be saved, and she would take her out if she needed to.
Yeah.
Um, like she wouldn't try and get revenge on her. Like it's not the
Yeah.
Jedi way. But if her life or someone else's life depended on it, and she had to take her out, she would do it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like Ahsoka's a Jedi even though she says she's not.
Yeah.
um Yeah, that's really it. Like I can't really think of anything else. Like I hope Mary gets blown up before you know what? I would actually respect that.
I guess what before we ever find out teach all the speculators.
Yeah, like that's the kind of subversion expectation I can accept because again, he's a nobody right now, and if he dies a nobody, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's all I got. How about you?
Yeah, no, that's really everything. I'm exhausted,
Oh,
so I'm
yeah, me too.
I can't stop yawning.
Thirsty. I need water. I didn't bring water.
Yeah. All right,
All
guys.
right.
So I guess we're gonna end it here. But thank you all for joining us. Thank you, MXC and Mandalorian Martin. We appreciate you guys chatting with us, and we will be back next Wednesday, chatting about the next episode 4. So you're fine. Bye. I
Bye.
mean, you can stay if you want. All right, everybody
You-
have a great night, and we will catch you all on the next stream. Bye, everyone.
See ya.